Ahoy there, and welcome to another episode of LorcanaTalks. This is episode number 2 of LorcanaTalks. We met a couple of months ago to talk about our experience at the D23 Expo, and a lot of new news has dropped recently in the world of Lorcana. So we're here again to just chill, hang out, and talk some Lorcana. I'm one of your hosts, Pirate Steven. And with me again is my friend Patrick. How's it going, Patrick?
Hello. It's going well. Busy week.
No, news is dropping, man. But it's all good news, so we're all getting excited. We are now living in the year of Lorcana, 2023. Before, when we talked about Lorcana, it was like, a year away. But yeah. Now it's a reality. It's happening.
I mean, yeah, it's it was a drip feed of information. Obviously, we haven't recorded in a while because we've been getting just kind of breadcrumbs, and then and we'll go through kind of the history of what's happened since, but the floodgates have opened this week with info.
Absolutely. And we're going to go through all that. Let's start by, so we said our last episode was in October. So what's dropped since then? I think we heard about 3 cards that were sprinkled out because Disney Lorcana's Twitter feed, their PR, their marketing person is getting on it and really reaching out to the community, which we know that trading card game fans love and Disney fans as well. They love that interaction. So the community person is really doing a good job of just jumping in there with us. Like they're in the mosh pit with us, and they're doing the leaps, and they are commenting on pretty much anybody that wants to talk to them online. So that has been a great addition that they've been given the reins of reaching out to the community and partying with us. So that's always good in the community.
Yeah, no, it's you see a lot of people when product that this comes out, no information that they can at the time. Social media to just kind of lean back on the the canned answer, rinse and repeat, copy paste. But yeah, whoever's running been very cool, friendly, forthcoming. Like, hey, my hands are tied on some stuff, but here's what I can say. But yeah, it's a good sign of things to come.
Absolutely. So, like I said, let's talk about those. Let's talk about those cards. So we saw an Olaf card. Are you an Olaf fan?
Yeah. So I got a couple pulled up here. We had, prior to year's end, we had a couple card reveals. The first one, again, a couple hit right before Christmas. The first being a action card with Maleficent being featured in dragon form, with Dragonfire is the name of it. And I think it's the first time. Again, there's way more seasoned TCD card buffs than myself, but this is the first time we've seen a card with Lorcana that is an action card, not a character itself. So we know there's going to be kind of a mix within the decks. We kind of instead of having a deck full of characters, we have these kind of probably one-off type abilities that we can play to do different things. This one being Dragonfire banishes a character, which I'm guessing is their language for defeating or being a character from the playfield. So that was pretty neat. Giving some insight into the game itself, even though we've already seen a Maleficent card, it also tells us, well, that some characters up more than once and through these action cards. And then we had pretty much right after Christmas, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm seeing some news things dated kind of right after Christmas, the 26th. Maybe that's when news outlets picked them up because they're off for the break. But we were introduced to Olaf as a character, and the art, as with all these cards, is gorgeous. It captures the character perfectly, and there is a few things I think that are interesting about the Olaf card. Just off the top of my head, it is it looks like from stats a cheaper card to play. An easier card, probably something you'll be playing near the start of a game, I'm guessing. It's got what I'm guessing is a cost of 1 versus things like Maleficent, other things that were, upwards of 5 kind of energy, we're thinking. And it also says he's an ally, so that might be a unique card type as well. So we might be seeing, main fighting characters, and we might be seeing kind of these side fighting characters as well. There's some, just kind of looking at chatter online. There's some speculation that we have some card text that might not have been fully revealed on this one, but a fun tease nonetheless. And then our last one, Steve, I'm gonna bounce to you on this because you in your house are more familiar with all things Stitch than I am. It was who?
Jamba from Lilo and Stitch. He's one of the evil scientists. He actually created Stitch. So, or Experiment 626. So, I thought that was a really cool design looking card as well. And it seems like we're getting, just from the cards we've seen, it looks like we're getting a lot of Sleeping Beauty, because I know we'll talk about it later, but Sleeping Beauty was shown on one of the cards, and at least 2 Maleficents, and then I guess Stitch will be another theme, because we have a Stitch and a Jamba, and then looking at Frozen, we got a Elsa and a Olaf. So who knows? Maybe there's an Anna somewhere in this series as well. So all good choices. I think I feel like the strength of this game is the designs of the cards and the art on the cards. It's going to help it be very collectible and popular fans. So I think they're just knocking it out of the park every time they show the new images of this game. And again, that was like little breadcrumbs that they were giving us just to keep us excited and talking about the game, and it worked.
Yeah. So it appears, and again, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll say it anyway. That all the art we've seen comes from one artist.
There's a couple. I feel like there's a couple.
Okay.
And the other cool thing is, I think I even saw them talking about on Twitter that you could submit art to Lorcana if you wanted to try to be an artist. So I definitely threw that awesome link. I threw that to a couple of my artist friends.
Yeah, I know the people behind this art are probably incredibly busy. But you got to imagine maybe a year or so down the road, you get a couple of these artists to come to like the Epcot Festival of the Arts. That's going to be a long line right there.
People sign. Yeah. Are you going to buy the $300 art? No, here, sign my Olaf card that I got in one of my packs. So
they're going to have to do the virtual queue to get some of these guys signed up.
The line to sign the line to sign art at D23 was crazy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's very popular. And then so let's go to all the news from this week. And one of them was it was dates. So games Gen Con is in August, and that looks like a really good time for one to check out this game. And I think it's what, August 3rd through 6th in Indianapolis. I've never been to Gen Con. Have you been?
I have never been to Gen Con. I have never been to Indianapolis. All completely uncharted territory for me.
Seems like a good reason, though, right? To head. I mean, Indianapolis. Let me go off the things I know about Indianapolis. The Colts, Matt Ryan. Yeah, they do some racing over there too, right?
Yeah, there's some racing. There's a couple Parks and Rec episodes. I think they end up in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And thus concludes my knowledge of this great city. But
Indiana's
again,
right next to Illinois and Ohio. I know that. South Bend is where the Notre Dame Fighting Irish play. Are we done? Oh, they're good at basketball. Indiana, University of Indiana. Hoosiers. That they had that movie, didn't they? Yeah. 2 hours from Cincinnati, because we looked that up. We're like, what can we do besides Indiana? But yeah, so me and Patrick are planning on going to Gen Con to check this out and report back for everybody and just have a good time. So hopefully anybody that's watching this, we can meet up and battle in Disney Lorcana. But it seems like a good party to me. So we're gonna try to go. I've already booked a hotel for this, so we'll just wait for Gen Con tickets to go on sale later this month and see what we can do there. But plan on it. We're gonna go to Gen Con and we're gonna see what's going on. And if we don't, we'll just delete this part of the podcast. I don't know.
this never happened.
Never happened. But we got the hotel.
But no, that's the plan.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited. I think it should be fun.
Yeah, and besides, I mean, Ravensburger will probably have other cool stuff there as well. That would be our main draw of going. But they always have good stuff there with Villainous, which they haven't announced really anything. I don't know. Disney Lorcana is probably taking a lot of their time right now, but I believe October was the Venom Marvel Villainous release.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really heard about any new chapters coming to Disney, Marvel, or Star Wars. But I would expect at least one addition to each of those probably before Gen Con as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We ended up just picking up another Villainous expansion. I have all the Marvel and the Star Wars. I'm slowly catching up on the Disney Villainous, but Target had the I don't remember the exact title, but the one with Gaston. It was on sale this week at my local Target, and picked that up. So yeah, that is helping to bide the time until we can get our hands on Lorcana cards at Gen Con for sure.
Yeah, Target has some really great deals on their Ravensburger games. One of my favorites, and I don't know if we talked about this last episode, but the Gargoyles Awakening game was one of my favorite things that Ravensburger has released up until probably this one, not probably, but up until Disney Lorcana comes out. And they show us that Darkwing Duck card. Then it will overtake Gargoyles Awakening. But yeah, Target, definitely check out the sales on all things Ravensburger. To have fun stuff to play up until August when all the goodness comes. But Gen Con, and we'll let you know if we find out anything else cool to do in Indianapolis. But that's the 3rd through the 6th. And then August 18th was another date that was thrown out there, and that is when Disney Lorcana is going to kind of like soft opening and release to like gaming shops / comic type shops. Was it in North America or other places than that?
I'm looking at the United States is what their the IGN article says.
Well, there you go. It works out for us.
I really like that. I don't know if that is as far as trading cards, trading card games go, an industry standard, but I do appreciate that they are thinking of these smaller hobby stores, and really supporting them. Those will be the side of tournaments and local play, and giving them sort of that early access to the cards. I think is really nice before we see it later on, a few weeks later in bigger box stores like your Targets, or I don't know where else you would buy cards. I just always go by the Target section.
Target's good, yeah. And you shared a picture on Twitter that was pretty popular of just the gaming card section, and I'm sure anybody that's watching this has probably seen themselves. And some made a comment of, "Wow, you had Pokemon there," which, yeah, Pokemon was rare, and now they're starting to be available in stores again. So we'll see how scarce Lorcana is when it gets launched. I'm sure it's going to be very popular as well. I live in the Orlando area of the world, and
I'm sure really care about it there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be all over the place. So I'm probably going to have to get most of my stuff online. But yeah, Gen Con they said they'll have select items for sale. We don't know what select means. Well, we do know what the word select means. It means whatever they choose to bring, but we don't know what that's going to be. Hopefully it's some cool stuff, starter pack, things to get you started. Maybe exclusives. Who knows?
To imagine. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I have to imagine that word select is very strategically picked because of how the response that they received at D23 that we talked about was so overwhelming. They probably don't want people going into Gen Con thinking, I want to get everything on their site at Gen Con, because who knows the wave of humanity that's going to be taking over their booth. So I think they were very wise to say there will be select items there.
Yeah, we're going to well document the craziness. But yeah, D23 Expo only had 900 sets. So I'm sure they're going to be more prepared now that they know the demand is out there. We'll have to see what they actually release. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So August 18th, that was comic shops, which is good. It'll be good, or comics / gaming shops. It'll be good to see what the demand is like there, because those are the places where local tournaments and things like that will be had. So that will be fun. And then after August 18th, the main launch will be on September 1st. And that is going to be a pretty wide release. United States, Canada, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg is going to be getting Lorcana at release. Yeah. So I'm sure they're going to eventually get this to everybody else. I know some of the other countries might be like, hey, we gave you Pokemon. How come you're making us wait on Lorcana? Well, I love Pokemon. Thanks for giving us Pokemon. So hopefully you get Lorcana soon. Sooner rather than later. But yeah, September 1st sounds good, man. That's a good time to release things. Really, if for a fall release, September, you can't get much better than that.
No. And just I guess to kind of back it up, that all this information that we're talking about, the release date and everything that's going to follow here, this all drops like bright and early first thing. Well, for me, it was first thing Monday morning. I think they dropped it, late that night, 2 a.m. I don't know when the article drops on IGN. I just know, I don't know where you were, Steve, when the big official announcement went out. I know personally I just dropped my kid off from school. I Monday mornings when I go get groceries, I go and I am pushing my grocery cart through the parking lot. It's like 30 degrees where I am, and it was kind of rainy. And I just get the notification on my phone that something has happened, and I look, and I'm just stopping like in the middle of this rainy parking lot at like 7:30 a.m. And just reading this article, and uh, yeah, just kind of took me by surprise. I was not ready for it. I did not have enough coffee in my system at the time. What were you up to when the news
So
happened?
you texted me, and I rolled out of bed, rolled to the side of my bed, and I got my phone. I'm like, who's texting me? Hopefully, usually when I get a text and I'm in bed, I'm like, oh gosh, did something happen at work that I was supposed to catch? But yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, maybe I should go on the internet or wake up a little earlier and check out this information. And IGN had a great article with, I guess they got the exclusive. They didn't come to LorcanaTalks, which I'm sure we were number 2 or 3 or 500. But
In the running.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, they follow us on Twitter. But yeah, they got the exclusive and ran through all the information, which is always great. IGN covers it very well there. So we have a lot to dive into now about. Well, we got the dates from them and where it's being released, and then it was IGN, the place that released the pictures of some of the newer stuff.
IGN released the kind of the official product image, but they also released kind of some nice high res images of just the art on the cards.
All right, let's go through. I think that'll be fun. Yeah, let's go through some of the art on the cards because that will be fun to talk about. And maybe I can try to share my screen here and present. Wouldn't that be fun? Or maybe not. That's too much pressure.
Okay, I had a connectivity issue. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Maybe if we don't touch anything, then the connectivity issues will not happen. So imagine, if you will,
the images apparently were so high resolution that they dropped. I don't know. The art is so good on these cards that
so good.
It wrecks my internet.
Oh, it wrecks. But what the first talking about was something like sorcery, definitely a different design of him in robes, and you made the you noticed that it looked like there were paintbrushes instead of brooms.
Yeah, obviously the buckets have the purple ink in them, but the way that I had to pull up a side by side of like the Fantasia broom, which has kind of like 2 broom legs. I don't know how to describe it. The brushes. These have one very intentionally supposed to be kind of paintbrush, ink brushes. But yeah, so we know we're getting at least 2 Mickeys in the first set, which is great.
Yeah, they seem to like Mickey a lot. Where's Donald? Come on, Donald's the fun one. Let's get some Donald. So yeah, that's Mickey, and we got Elephant and Wildebeest and things like that. So I thought that was a cool one. Lion King fans for sure will love that one. Makes me want a Scar though. Scar's pretty hot
Yeah.
right now. He's in his own comic book. But yeah, I hope with this first chapter that whenever they have a good guy, they bring the villain along for the ride. So the third one,
Simba looks,
Moana.
yeah, okay. I was just gonna say Simba looks
No, you got
absolutely ripped. Like Simba's been
yeah.
working out, and I feel like it needs to be said.
Oh hell yeah,
Dude is jacked.
man. I need to find out what he's doing because those results are paying off. Moana. You might not know this, but Moana is one of my favorite Disney princesses, and my favorite. I think it's one of my favorite Disney movies in the 2000s. What is everybody calling this century? Whatever, the 2000s through 2022. Moana has been one of my favorite Disney movies. I was on a Disney cruise when it came out, so I got to see that ocean type movie on the ocean. So I don't know if that makes me love it more, but definitely love me Moana. Any comments on Moana, or did I just say
No,
it all?
I mean, yeah, I was gonna mention that she's your favorite princess, but you nailed it.
Totally.
No, it's a great
And they
capturing
got
the character.
And Moana is getting her own little area at Epcot, so it's good timing for Moana fans. Next, we got Aladdin, and Aladdin's got a little cape action going on and a little different design. I actually love Aladdin, but didn't recognize this as Aladdin when I first saw it. It's just such a different design for this character.
It's like a different version of Prince Ali kind of thing. Yeah. Almost. I don't know. I'm
Actually,
not
thought
fully
it was
versed.
a really deep cut. I thought it was almost a deep. I almost thought it was a really deep cut, and it was Mosenrath from the Aladdin series. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Totally.
either. Yeah, it looks like the dress from like I don't know the third straight to VHS Aladdin film or the animated series.
Yeah.
But a cool
He
alternate take. You
definitely
got to
is
wonder.
not a street rat, man. He's got some money.
Do you think we'll see a role reversal where this is like the Prince Aladdin, and maybe we'll get like a kind of street thief version of Jasmine?
Ooh, nice. I don't know. We got to get some kind of Jasmine. So many to choose from. But yeah, this Aladdin one's cool. It could be in the background. Maybe he's there's some spheres. Maybe he's in Agrabah by the Sultan's palace. Maybe he is the Sultan by this point. Who knows? Who knows? Jafar is a character I feel like will be great in this game as well. And you got Jafar is a Sultan, Jafar regular, he's Kabul person costume, snake like. So Jafar is somebody I'm sure will be in this game several times. Then we got Princess Aurora. She's definitely Sleeping Beauty to some. She definitely has her eyes open. She's awake and knows what's going on here. So she's playing with her Briar Rose. This person has so many names. She looks like she's playing with Briar Roses in this picture. So
It looks like she's controlling the thorns and the roses and everything. So
yeah.
it's probably another alternate take on the character. I like that we went blue dress instead of pink dress for her. You don't see that one as often. And yeah.
Okay, but what
Another
if
tip
there's
of the
like
hat.
a variant, a foil? Could be a foil variant where it's pink dress, or maybe that will be some rare card that we'll have to pay $200 for on eBay. Yeah, and then we got Maleficent in her normal standard form with her raven and looking all evil. evil like.
Now,
So not another cool
I think
card.
this one's interesting. I think this one's pretty cool because I mean, yeah, we've seen the Maleficent. We've seen two Maleficent cards prior to this, both dragons. I think what makes this one stand out is that the magic and kind of the coloring around it's all blue. Typically, that's either purple, green, uh, fire, whatever. It looks like if you look around the staff and some of the things, it looks a lot like um, the orbs and kind of the way that they're orbiting. It looks a lot like a lot of what you see with like the main hub and the Lorcana, whatever they're calling. The name is eluding me, but the headquarters where all this is taking place. It seems like this one's tied directly to what's going on in the whole Lorcana story, which I think is interesting.
So that's the new images that we've seen of characters that are going to be in this first chapter. It's supposed to be over 200 cards, so that's going to be a lot of cool characters that we get. Some of them might be, like we said, might be repeated. Maybe they're trying to clump all the same movies like Lilo and Stitch and Sleeping Beauty and what was the other movie? Frozen. So maybe
Frozen.
they're all getting in different chapters. But the other cool thing we got from these articles, and also was later on Ravensburger's DisneyLorcana.com, is we got information about the featured products that are going to be in at launch. So let's go through those a little bit and tell our thoughts on that. So most people. I don't want to speak for most people, but for trading card games, everybody knows starter decks. Everybody knows starter decks. I'm talking for most people again. So there's starter decks, right? And this starter deck this allows you to play the game and get you really started. That's why they call it starter decks. And there's going to be 3 of them at launch, and 60 cards in the starter. So this is like a good way to start. And you get 2 foil cards of the characters that are on the package front. There's also going to be 11 game tokens, 1 rule book, and 1 booster pack containing 12 randomized cards. That's a lot for a starter pack, because I know me and you are mostly familiar with Pokemon as far as trading card games go. So I feel like that's a good value there.
I have never seen. Again, I'm not well traveled in the trading card arena, but I have never seen a starter pack come with a booster pack, and I like that because the first thing you want to be able to play the game. That's the purpose of the starter deck. But then the next thing you want to do immediately after you play that first game is I want to customize this. I want this to be different than everyone else who just bought the exact same starter deck. And kind of right out of the gates, you have that ability, which is nice. It's going to be nice, I think, too, for if they do, your kind of your tournaments, like a release tournament. Sometimes you don't come. There's tournaments where you obviously have your deck that you build, that you bring. And then there are tournaments where you kind of pay your entry fee. They give you a deck and some booster packs. And then you kind of play with the cards that you were given, literally. So I think that's going to kind of play into a lot of the local play. Everyone gets a starter deck, but their booster packs will be kind of what makes their competitive deck unique, which I think is cool. I'm curious, Steve. Obviously, we're probably going to be grabbing all 3, but if you had to grab one of these, which one do you grab? We have starter deck 1, Moana and Mickey. Starter deck 2, Cruella and Aladdin. Starter deck 3, Aurora and Simba. What do you do?
Well, I'll give you the real answer in a second, but if there's 3 starter packs and there's 60 cards and they're probably different cards each, that's like 180 of the 200, close to 200 plus cards in the set, the first chapter. So I wonder if that will really be a good starter for this first chapter of getting most of the cards that are in the set. But picking one, I'm gonna have to go with my favorite Disney princess, Moana, and Mickey, although it really should be Donald because he's better. But yeah, I would go with that one. I feel like that's gonna be my starter deck. That's my Pikachu, who I'm gonna pick to learn the game. But I do love me some Disney villains, and Cruella's sitting right there on the table, along with Mosin Wrath Aladdin. And yeah, I pick door number 1 of Moana and Mickey, who had a check that was Mickey to see if he had eyelashes or not, to see if it was Minnie or not. But it is Mickey, and definitely not Donald Duck, who it should have been.
We'll see him eventually.
But we do get 2. We did say that the characters that are on the front, we get foil cards of those cards.
Yeah.
So that is a cool feature as well. Which one would you pick out of the 3 as your first one?
That is not an easy pick. I think you can't go wrong with any of them. I have to go with Aurora and Ripped Simba, I think, right out of the gates. I partially because I think those 2 cards are going to be really nice. But if you look, each deck has 2 different ink types. I am, just from what I know, the Simba and Aurora that deals with the steel and I'm going to mess up the name. I'm just going to say blue because that's probably how I'm going to forever reference it. I like blue. That's my like basic 5-year-old answer of
Makes sense.
That's my favorite color. But yeah, I think we're probably none of us are leaning towards the Cruella line because we already have the Cruella card, right? From D23. So we already have a foil version, though they did say the D23, the foiling on those cards will be different than the foiling we see here. So it'll still be a unique Cruella.
Yeah, I did notice as well that the pack that I picked was purple and gold, and those are that's my signature colors. So
LSU.
I picked wisely. So, but yeah, that's good. And I would have to think there's no prices listed for these items. I would have to think that these are going to be at least $20 items because I think it's been a while since I bought a starter pack from like Pokemon, but I think they usually run like $12.99 or up to $15.99. And if you think, on top of that, I'm going to get a booster pack, which could be like $5 or maybe more with this new, because inflation, but maybe $20 to $25 for these. So
yeah.
So let's say these are at Gen Con. You buying all 3?
I mean, if we're going to the fine city of Indianapolis,
right?
I better be coming home with all 3 if available, if they're selected.
We're gonna have tables at our hotel, just like running our own Lorcana tournaments. Let me tell you.
Oh man.
There's also a gaming bar that we saw that's at Indianapolis with old video arcade games and stuff. So I'll probably be playing there too. But yeah, so then further down on this website, again, you can go to DisneyLorcana.com. There's the booster pack card design. So Elsa is one of the people on the front of the pack. And there's also Brave Little Tailor Mickey, which I know a lot of people were excited about when they saw that at D23 Expo, and Maleficent on the 3rd pack. So those are the first 3 packs, characters that are going to be in the front of the packs for Chapter 1, at least this first iteration. And each one's going to have 6 common cards, 3 uncommon cards, 2 rare, super rare, or legendary cards, and 1 foil card. So you see these 3 cards on the shelf or on the peg. which character do you like? Because I know when I used to go buy packs Pokemon with my kids, they would always pick a certain character for luck or whatnot. Which one are you picking?
Ooh, I gotta say, I feel like just off that alone, I'm guessing Elsa's going to probably be the most popular here. I don't know why, but I just feel it. I don't know. I gotta go with I'm gonna go with the Brave Little Tailor Mickey pack probably more often than not. I feel
Right.
like even if I get a bum pack of just nothing but duplicates, the art makes me happy, so I'll use it to cope.
Yeah, and I'm sure we could trade. There'll be traders
Mm-hmm.
galore. Um, but yeah, I think I would go Maleficent just for the villain factor and to mix it up a little bit.
Sure. The
Um,
the other thing about talking about how we said 200 cards right for the set. I did a little bit of research, and by research I mean I did one Google search of talking about comparing it to Pokemon. The average Pokemon release right now is going at about there's about 135 cards in a set, give or take. So this is going to be a larger than that. So it's going to be pretty big. But considering this is the base set, the first chapter, that's probably be expected. But this is probably going to be. I don't know. I have to speculate that this will be a little larger this first chapter than the second chapter. I have to imagine, but we'll see.
sure. Yeah, sure. I could see that. Um, how are you going to collect these cards? Are you going to, do you feel like you're going to need the foil card for every one?
I don't think so. I feel like if I can personally, I welcome any foil card that I pull, but I think if I can just get a nice complete set, who knows how hard it is to pull one of those legendaries. We'll see. 3 degrees of rare cards feels intimidating to me. I would just like to get all 200, and I'd be a
Yeah,
happy camper. So we'll
that's a good
see.
call. I'm sure the characters, my favorite characters, I'll probably try to get the foil card or the or any iteration of that. Like you keep saying, if it's Donald Duck or Darkwing Duck or Scrooge McDuck or any ducks or gargoyles or any characters that are my favorites, I would definitely try to get the set of them. But I also feel like I'd probably be hitting up eBay um, or something just so I wouldn't just have a complete stack of duplicates just to buy the because I felt like it was easier when for getting Pokemon cards for my kids. It was like they would buy a $5 or $6 Pokemon pack, and well, I would buy them, and if they didn't get a foil card or a GX or EX or one of the special cards, it was like I would just burn that $5. So and I would go on eBay and find the card they wanted for $2. So yeah, hopefully it's kind of like that where you can get the cards you want other places. But I definitely like we were talking about before. I definitely feel like we're gonna build some red decks to take to tournaments and I don't know, just be badass at those tournaments. So yeah, that's the booster pack. So hopefully we can get some pretty cool cards in those booster packs. And I feel like on this podcast or video cast or whatever we're doing here, I think it'll be fun to do some live pack openings. Just so we can see the live look of disappointment or excitement. Come on, it's all going to be excited, right? Um, yeah, so we'll definitely do those. It'll be fun. So the other one, it's the jump in gift set, right?
Oh
Totally,
yeah.
totally need one of these, right? And that the gift set includes 2 collectible oversized foil cards, which we'll never use. Um, they'll just be sitting there somewhere. Uh, but those are going to be of a really a Hades with blonde hair, right? Um, and a Mulan, action Mulan, I call her. Um, And in the addition of the 2 oversized foil cards, you'll get the regular foil cards, so you'll be able to play in tournaments, etc. 34 game tokens and 4 booster packs of 12 additional cards each. And this is very similar to the $20 to $25 plus more 30. They charge, Pokemon charges whatever they
Yeah.
feel like charging, but you'll see these at Target a lot, from what I can tell. Every new season, trading card games will come out with new like promotional gift sets that where you get booster packs and some kind of special edition foil promo card. And I think this is, I mean, they picked a villain and Mulan's a princess, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's just so.
Yeah, so you get a villain and princess. I think it's a good matchup here. Hopefully, we get a cool. So I want we got blonde Hades. I wonder if Hercules is going to be a blonde as well.
Yeah. It's interesting because the Pokemon ones that you see at Target and other places with the oversized card. Again, that's mainly collectors. I don't know what I will do with that because I don't know how you store one of those. I'm sure somewhere they make oversized card sleeves or folder pages. I'm not sure. The nice thing about this is the Pokemon ones normally just revolve around one character. If you like it, great. If not, you kind of just pass on it. But getting 2 characters in one pack. So I mean, I like Mulan just fine, but I feel like Fabio Hades is definitely worth the price of admission here.
Oh,
I
heck
like
yeah.
I like too that you actually see on the packaging here because it was mentioned in the starter decks. They get 11 game tokens, probably to count things like damage, things like that. You actually see an image of what those look like on the jump in gift set. There is unique ones for each character. They actually are kind of featured on it. So kind of unique way to kind of play as well. So again, it makes the gift set a little more special.
Yeah. Recommendation: buy the gift set. You'll get those 2 special cards, and I totally gonna probably be one of those dads at the tournament that breaks out the big foil card, throws it on the table, and get disqualified. Take that, Hades. So yeah, that's. I feel like that's a necessity to buy at launch, but also we got something called the Illumineers Trove, the ultimate choice. So let me read what's in there. We get a storage box, right? Everybody needs a storage box. Let me tell you, these cards are going to be all over the place. You need to contain them somehow.
I want to know how many cards it stores, which I know sleeves kind of will sleeves fit in it. How many troves will people need to store their collection? Who knows?
Who knows? The possibilities are infinite, right? Uh, we got 2 deck boxes, right? Because I don't know why you wouldn't have 3 deck boxes since there's 3 main decks. Yeah, maybe you have to buy 2 of these Illuminator Troves. And then 8 booster packs, 15 game tokens. We're going to have so many game tokens, we're not going to know what to do with them. And 1 player's guide. So this, I feel like, is another thing that each chapter, when they release these ultimate Illuminator choice troves, I know when they do for Pokemon, I have to pick them up for my kids as well. So, again, something very similar in the trading card gaming world is these like ultimate collector / gamer boxes for people to buy to get them into the game.
I think it's interesting. The Illumineers Trove. I just love the ultimate choice. That's such a an epic way to describe something. It says, okay, so it says, probably a lot of people relate this, but it says 1 player's guide, right? That is different than the starter decks that just say 1 rule book. And I'm wondering kind of what could be in a player's guide. Would it be more of a deep dive of strategies with the different ink types? Could it serve a little bit as an art book maybe? I'm gonna just get my expectations really high for that thing. It could just be a catalog of all the different things coming. Who knows? But it's the way it's worded. It sounds like it's something unique to the trove and not just the rule book again.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, Pokemon fans, let me know. I think that for whenever you bought one of these type of deals for Pokemon, they had like pictures of all the cards that are in that series, and yeah, like you said, how to play, so that it's the starter set. So this is how you get into the game, and you'll look fancy because you'll have all the like the cool decks when you plot on a table at your card shop. So yeah, that's something else definitely to pick up and put on your Christmas list if it's too expensive. I mean, the game comes out in September and Christmas is right around the corner from there. So again, that's why I like the fall drop for this. So there's also some additional accessories. Me and Patrick were talking about before we started hitting the record button that I want a shirt or a hat or something. The pin accessory we got at the D23 Expo was really cool. And I feel like trading card game people and Disney nerds are going to want, they love their merch. So
Yeah.
hopefully there's other stuff there. But we got card sleeves is the first thing on our list. Each pack contains 65 matte finish card sleeves featuring a Disney Lorcana glimmer. The first characters featured will be Captain Hook, Elsa, and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Should it confuse anyone, as you know, you're taking in all this information and it's like, oh my god, the word glimmer is how it's what they're calling the characters that you summon through the cards, right? It's kind of their way of kind of protects the brand. You know, why would Mickey Mouse fight Elsa? You know, well, it's not, Mickey Mouse wouldn't fight Elsa, but a glimmer of Mickey Mouse would fight a glimmer of Elsa. It's back in the Disney Infinity days, right? It was the same thing. Why would these characters interact or battle each other or race each other? It wasn't the character themselves. It was a toy of the character themselves. So it's just kind of a narrative, that construct that they use to basically allow these characters to fight to the death. But so if you ever see glimmer, it's just their way of saying character.
I think Mickey could take Elsa.
I think so. Well, do you see those scissors? They're huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And those paintbrushes.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. So card sleeves, it's going to be Captain Hook, Elsa, and Mickey Mouse, which Captain Hook, I feel like that was my favorite one from the D23 Expo set. But again, you might need to buy all three of these if you have 3 decks. Right?
Yeah.
So that's card sleeves. Deck boxes. So didn't we already get deck boxes and something else in
the Trove has 2 deck
ultimate
boxes.
Ultimate, yeah. So if you need to buy that third one, like we were talking about, the first Lorcana deck boxes will feature the same Captain Hook, Elsa, and Mickey Mouse. So again, definitely want to get that Captain Hook from those 3.
And this is where it gets interesting for me, and I'm sure the whoever's running Lorcana's social media has probably clarified this more than I've paid attention to. But just looking at this now, the starter deck is 60 cards. The packs of the card sleeves are 65 cards. And the deck boxes can hold 80 cards, 80 sleeved cards. So they're even making room for, the space the sleeves take up. It makes me wonder what the official play size will be, if there will be variations of play here, or if these boxes are more geared towards, if we'll have a box that's more geared towards collector stuff than, a competitive deck. I don't know. We'll see.
Good points. It's So yeah, if you buy the Trove, you're still going to have to buy an extra deck box. Play mats. So this is when you go to a tournament, you can have a nice placemat. There's a couple of choices you're going to have at the beginning. So it's a nice fabric, striking artwork of the Disney characters. And the three that are going to be on there from the start is Maleficent, Maui, and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
What's your prediction on which Mickey Mouse, since we got two?
I think we have Mickey card sleeves, Mickey deck boxes, and Mickey playmats. I want to say those will all be the same Mickey. If two of them are like the same Mickey and one is like a different, that might drive me mad. Like that will bother a part of me. This is the first mention of Maui, by the way.
Right.
We haven't seen card art or anything, but that's pretty interesting. I'm to answer your question. I want to say, I don't know. I want to say Brave Little Tailor Mickey because again, it just makes me happy.
Yeah, I feel like that's the key art on most of the other stuff, so that makes total sense.
And it says on the website too that the playmat can also be used as a mouse pad, which is an interesting call out. But you know what? I appreciate it.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw like a really nice mouse pad?
Facts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've seen. I've gone to. I keep bringing up Pokemon tournaments, and I've seen cool ones. I mean, people. This is how they like psych out their opponents.
This is my current mouse pad, by the way. Pokemon 25.
Nice. So, when you throw your playmat down there, it's a good way to intimidate the person you're playing against. I know some of them, like when you win a tournament, you can win one that says champion.
Oh,
yeah, right. So, I think my kid won something, but yeah, you can throw that down. You can. I can't wait to see people try to psych me out with this. But I don't know. Maui sounds like an interesting one. But yeah, I'd probably go Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
On the playmat.
You could do like Maui with the hook box and sleeves, and it's kind of like a nautical theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I wonder if we're gonna be like playing against people that are dressed up like Maui with the playmat, with the Moana deck.
That would be intimidating.
It's gonna get crazy. They have the big fish hook, and you're like, so yeah. And the last thing on this website says portfolios, which I have no idea. I guess that's just a book, like a collector card album. Yeah. Players can safeguard their collection with portable card portfolios, which hold 64 standard cards as well as 8 oversized cards. Oversized cards. Here you go, man. This is where you're going to store that big Hades and the big Mulan. And if there's 8 of them, I wonder if in the first chapter, if there's going to be 4 of those gift set boxes.
Oh, man.
That's my math in action.
Well,
yeah.
So I would just store 8 of those Hades cards, oversized Hades cards, because this hair is so glorious. But
we should just trade for as many Hades cards as we could find. That just
accepting everyone's
pointless.
Hades cards.
Yeah. So your whole deck is Fabio Hades would be funny.
And again, this is another different number. So we have 60 card starter decks, 65 card sleeves, 80 cards for a deck box, and now a portfolio holds 64 cards. So I am completely perplexed on numbers right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to Ravensburger at Gen Con and go, who came up with these numbers, man? It's math. When they change math.
Yeah.
So you Stitch and the Evil Queen, which is again, Evil Queen is the first time that has been mentioned before, but you can also see her design. The only place you can see her design is if you go to DisneyLorcana.com. It's on the banner image with Brave Little Tailor, Mickey, and Elsa. So
it's interesting. They just call her the Queen. They don't pass judgment on her.
So it's funny
like that.
You know the queen's name because you just you reviewed some product with her for Duck Talks, right?
Yeah, the packaging on it was a Beast Kingdom statue somewhere over there. Right off camera, I can't quite grab it, or else I'd
Right.
pull it up. But they said Queen. I'm gonna probably butcher the naming, but Grimhilda is how I'm saying it. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. I see why people stick with just the Queen.
Yeah, or the evil queen, or the hag is what I've heard the witch called.
Yeah,
So this makes me believe that Snow White will probably be included in this first chapter, as well as since Captain Hook is in this, maybe we'll get Peter Pan. I would love to see like a badass card of. Oh, by the way, we say badass on this show, so apologize to anybody who that offends. But the crocodile would look really cool as a card.
yeah.
Just
You could have. I mean, we talked about that Olaf card being a an ally. So maybe we get a Smee
awesome.
that's similarly titled.
I would love that.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Queen right now on the Lorcana website, and again, I'm it's weird to me that they call her the Queen and not the Evil Queen, as we often know her. The artwork, again, it's kind of cropped out, very stylized at the top as a header for the website. She's got like she looks like the traditional Queen, but she's got like this pink magic all around her, which is a very odd choice of coloring. So maybe she's making a non-poison apple, like a really nice candied apple or something.
Ooh,
Who knows?
I'd eat that.
Yeah, just
Very,
misunderstood.
oh, for sure. And I want to see somebody have a complete villain deck. I think that would be something that they could win with. I don't know. We're gonna have to learn how to play this game really well if we're gonna be dominating the circuit.
Yeah.
Here's a question that you mentioned Disney Infinity. We love Disney Infinity here. What are the things I thought that worked really well with that product was that it tied into whatever like Disney movie release was coming out at that time. Do you think that they would do that with Lorcana, or they should? I feel like they should do that. So, like, for example, you go see the Elementals Pixar movie, and maybe they release a gift pack with Elementals characters in it.
Yeah. It is funny because I think about, I don't know, a lot of when Disney puts out either a game or a product and it's kind of like across all their movies and shows and everything, the big synergy machine is always about, you always want to promote the newest thing, which is understandable. uh, but yeah, like Infinity is one of those, like, it almost, you can kind of tell what point in time something was made, right, based off the inclusions in the cast of characters. Like, you look back at Disney Infinity and it's like there are Lone Ranger characters. There are good dinosaur, assets in the game. Just, it's a product of its time. Like you play in the Mirrorverse mobile game. There's all the characters make sense, and then you have like, the Dwayne the Rock Johnson's character from Jungle Cruise is there, and it's like, that's an interesting inclusion. Then you look at when it was kind of put out, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. I could totally see them. I don't know what comes out in September. What maybe Elementals could be a prime, not Elementals. Is just Elemental. I feel like I'm getting it confused with the Eternals, but
Pixar movie.
yeah, the Pixar movie. Like, I could see them being a part of the set. Well, it's Pixar, so we haven't seen any Pixar.
Inside Out 2, maybe by the time that comes out.
Yeah. What's the
Yeah,
one about Wishing Star? A Disney one with a Wishing Star, right? We saw that at D23.
yeah. I mean, there's some Disney movies, animated movies that are coming out. Live
The
action for sure. Like maybe, well, the Little Mermaid movie comes out in May, so that this game's not out by then. But
You could totally have some live action. We haven't seen any. converted like live action character here. We haven't seen like a Jack Sparrow or a Barbosa or Dwayne the Rock Johnson from Jungle Cruise, whose name I'll never remember. But it'd be interesting to see them included.
Yeah, and I would love to have like gaming events where like me and you, whenever we will talk about like, hey, did you go to GameStop and pick up this free promo Pokemon card? It'd be cool if like, oh, GameStop, come in October to get the Jack Skeleton card, things like that. I feel like that kind of promotion would get the name
It's,
out there more.
as long as they don't please, for all that is good and holy, do not make anything a park exclusive.
We got that.
I mean, Mr. Orlando over here, probably not a problem, but that could be painful for some of us. Talking about the movie releases, though, it made me think back to when the first Pokemon movie came out. Again, Pokemon call out number 4000. The first movie comes out and you got a free card with the ticket, right? Or one of 4 different cards. And I'm not ashamed to say I bought multiple tickets to that movie, even though I was only going with one other person. And yeah, who knows? Talk about blue sky thinking. Imagine going to see a Disney, the new Disney film, and then getting that character's Lorcana card with your ticket. That'll save the movie theaters.
You remember Pokemon Happy Meals where they had a card in every Happy Meal? Lorcana, come on. Yeah. That would work well there. So, yeah. September is going to be full of football and Disney Lorcana games on the weekends. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Good stuff.
Yep. And besides, Ravensburger, I'm sure will be at Toy Fair in late September too. So that's probably another opportunity for them to make announcements and talk about things. But again, fall, perfect time, I think, for this game, August, September, getting everything out there before Christmas, because kids are going to want this on their Christmas list. Adults are going to want this on their Christmas list. And if they put it on the list, buy it for them, because it's fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun times. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'll say this, because you look at all these products, right? Last thing that just popped in my head. I would love, I think this is a solid, super solid product release for your kind of base set. There's kind of options for everyone here to get started, dip their toes in the water. One thing I'd like to see down the road, and that's worked so well for the Pokemon card game, another call out, is that they have you've probably seen, your kids probably have it, like the training academy. Have you seen this? It's a 2-player deck. It's a deck for 2 players. It's a guided card. It's a guided version of the game, where your card, and you see them often kind of on the shelf sitting there because the collector's value isn't that great, because you can't really play with the cards in like standard play. They got markings on them like numbers, but it's like a staged game, but it's such a solid way to teach people how to play that game. My kid was 5 and we tried it, and she picked it up instantly because it's such an effective teaching tool. I would love to see, once we get, more solid kind of footing for this game, something like that to come out as well, with additional releases, maybe chapter 3, 4, 5, who knows? Like a training academy box set, just fun for the whole family.
Yeah, I could see that. And all they have to do is throw in an exclusive foil, like maybe a redhead Hades.
Ooh.
or something, because he's a diva. And people will buy it anyway. So they'll hook the collectors in with those things eventually by throwing something there. Well, I think that was a lot of fun discussion. Patrick, do you have anything else you want to say?
You know what? I'm fresh out. I think we've said it all. It's been a fun week. I look forward to seeing, what the flow of news is going to be moving forward. Once the cat's out of the bag with this info, who knows? We'll probably be back a lot sooner than we were this time with new card reveals and who knows what else. So it's gonna be a fun ride.
All right, we thank everybody for watching. You can follow us at our socials. I'm at the Pirate Steven. Patrick's at Posted Pat, and our main account for this LorcanaTalks is at LorcanaTalks. So definitely follow us there. We're gonna we love talking to people, so we'll hype up the community as much as we can about this product. Just so everybody is aware of this product and love it as much as we do, because we're kind of obsessed. Like I said, we're obsessed, and this game is so far away. But we're going to talk about it, and we're going to try to secure a Gen Con ticket. So maybe our next episode will be what to do in Indianapolis.
We swear we'll try to do more research on the fine people that live there. Don't worry.
Yeah, because we'll be there 4 days, or I think we'll be there 4 days. So the hotel reservation says, but it's a lot of time we're gonna have to fill after we visit Lorcana booth a couple times. Funko Games will be there, I'm sure. The Ops, plenty of things to look at, but yeah, Disney Lorcana will be the main focus there. So. All right, bye. We appreciate you guys watching us. And until next time, insert great phrase here that we'll do on future episodes. So, all right, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.